yeah, the men coming in here and, being like, I bet you've never even talked to a woman, in reaction to so much of this and the things that I've said just because of the fact that I crapped on their, messiah figure and all this. It's just so. And it leaves me in a. Yes, these are people I know on Facebook primarily, but, ever since we got moved around and relocated so goddamn much, it's just the reality that I have to contend with. Most of my friends have migrated to being internet because we've been relocated a million fucking times, so. What did you think was going to fucking happen? But yeah, most of the people who are on here that I interact with are women, and it really gets me because I can't say one. Like, I can't even criticize any of these guys without a bunch of people swarming my channel to hate on me because God forbid, don't like their fucking savior figure or their fucking messiah like Charlie Kirk. Like, and what really galls me about it in realization, or it really leaves me in a state of I don't understand how it is that you don't get that you're underestimating me to a serious extent about the whole thing is just, like what Andrew Tate comes along and he's trafficking girls and he's, busy saying a bunch of crappy things about women and trash talking them and, trying to frame himself as the happy misogynist. Charlie Kirk comes up on stage and basically says women should not have careers, let's impose this worldview which says that they should be at home making babies and everything, and then try to imply that feminism has a problem with women being at home and, stay-at-home moms, when in fact, feminism says if that's what women pick, that's their choice, good for them. But it basically just does. It opposes this idea of forcing all women to be stay-at-home moms. The reality is that we can have both. We should tolerate both. And that's really what feminism is about. It's about letting women make those choices, being career, having a career if they want, and being a stay-at-home mom if they want. It's not really, this is misunderstanding, and there are a lot of women who unfortunately also share this misunderstanding of feminism. They actually think that feminists have a problem with stay-at-home moms. It's like, well, I mean, if you're getting crapped on and accused of enabling the patriarchy as a stay-at-home mom by women who claim to be feminists, they're not being good feminists. Just understand that much. They're doing feminism badly. Like, this is, and really the mainstream of the movement doesn't really have a problem with stay-at-home moms. It just, it basically just says that we should allow women to be whatever they want to be. And yet, yes, I will admit that there's probably a contingent of women that are willing to gang up on stay-at-home moms. Like, what are you doing? You're enabling the patriarchy and all this other stuff. But please just keep in mind that these women are not, when they're doing this, they're like, they may be feminist, but they're not doing feminism when they're fucking complaining at you this way, when they're calling you out on this. Like, that's not feminism. That's just a woman having an opinion that's completely independent of what the feminist cause actually believes in. It's something else entirely that they're doing. Like, they're not doing feminism in the moments that they're coming after you for that, because real feminism and the opinion of genuine feminism is that it's okay to be a stay-at-home mom if you want to be. If that's what you want and choose for yourself, then that's the choice that they'd support, so women that are doing that are not really doing the cause at those moments that they're doing that. They're just a woman that's having an opinion very loudly, and uh, God, but no, the point I wanted to make in all of this is that Andrew Tate is really shitty. Like women don't like him, and a lot of them dunk on them, and the fact is that misogyny isn't sexy to women. It's not attractive, and being the guy up on stage that's basically telling women that they should drop out of college and be stay-at-home moms and just pump out babies for the men, and be completely submissive to their husbands and pushing this, you're offending them for the most part. They don't like you. they're not turned on by misogyny for the for the most part, and so people coming in here like, I bet you couldn't even get picked, you never had a girl in your life or known any, and it's like, meanwhile they're the only people I even talk to. They're the vast majority of my friends. I barely even talk to men at all, and this is the only space in which I get reactions from men, and they're always circling the wagons around some piece of shit like Kirk or fucking Andrew Tate and such. And if I say one bad thing about them, it's like I get swarmed by droves of you dipshit losers, and you actually think that because you personally don't like me, that the opposite sex won't either. But they don't actually give a shit how popular I am with men, and nor do I anymore. I mean, go ahead, hate me because I don't love your fucking messiah. Keep riding Charlie Kirk's dick by trying to knock me down and attacking me. Be the fucking bootlicking, bottom feeding swine that you are. See if I give a fuck. I didn't. I'm not here to fit in just a little better with men. I'm an outsider in that regard. I am what I am. Take it or leave it. Fuck off. Jesus Christ. And the truth of the matter, like I said, is that, sorry, boys, this misogyny that, is pushed by these figures, it ain't sexy. So, just saying, you think I'm unpopular because I hate Kirk with the opposite sex. I've got a bridge to sell you out back because you don't get it.